On the export side, Western countries talking about overcapacity risks as well as increasing trade barriers. How much of that could be an impediment? Because China is right now banking on its exports.
That's right. I think that's increasingly becoming a challenge for Chinese export sector because the Chinese exporters are working on a very low cost base, gain substantial comparative advantage against the foreign competitors. So I think as a result, you're seeing Chinese EVs are taking global market shares. Chinese manufacturing sector value add as a percentage of global manufacturing sector is actually also rising as well, despite all the tariffs. So that is really showing you, this huge cost advantage in the Chinese manufacturing sector. And also in the past couple of years, because of the tariff that is being imposed on the Chinese exports, the Chinese manufacturers has been offshoring, some of their manufacturing facilities to Southeast Asia, to bypass the tariff and all that. So I think, at this juncture, as you can see, one of the key focus of Yellen's visit to China was, to discuss the overcapacity situation with China. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see, even more tariff or more trade frictions in the coming months.
Which also explains why a lot of the European firms are shifting their investments to the ASEAN countries because China's doing the same thing. And it's funny how that aligns. But I've got to ask you, we talk every day about the prospect of tariffs getting slapped on EVs. And obviously EVs is going to be such a big growth engine for China moving forward. But do you think if we were to see those tariffs, I'm not saying the Chinese EV industry would collapse, but do you think that that's when we're going to see massive consolidation? Because that would lead to an abundance of supply coming on, but just, I suppose, weaker demand?
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with you. Domestically, we're seeing, even though the EV sector is growing exponentially, but there's obviously substantial overcapacity in the sector. So if you look at the domestic EV price, it's coming down really fast. Nowadays, it costs you around 70,000 Chinese yuan to buy an EV, and cost you 88, almost 90,000 yuan to buy a Chanel handbag, right? So that is really telling you that, the guys in China are really competing on a low-cost base. So I think, if foreign demand will be curbed because of new tariffs that is being imposed, and I think the European governments are already working on that, then I wouldn't be too surprised to see the domestic price competition, the price wars in the domestic EV sectors is set to intensify, and it's already happening.